Hey, Mike Delpre here, Executive Director of Azria, and you missed out. So if you did not attend the Phoenix or Tucson monthly event this week, you missed out on Sean O'Neill's presentation. He's also known as the Memory Guy. But don't worry, as always, you know we got you covered, so we recorded the entire event. So he amazed us with his ability to remember every single person's name in the room, and he also shared techniques that each and every one of us can use as well. The big reminder for me was he showed us that we all have this same power and we neglect it. So the video we want to share with you that you should watch is going to show you that you can unlock a skill that can elevate your networking, reshape your relationships. Okay, so get ready to be enlightened, be entertained, and most importantly, empowered. Watch closely and discover how to never forget a name again.
Kind of the makeup of the group a little bit here. By a show of hands, how many feel it's a little bit too late now in the day to be talking about improving your memory? By a show of hands, anybody? A couple of you, okay. By a show of hands, how many feel that it's too late in general, too late in life to be talking about improving your memory? By a show of hands, okay. All right. Good. Well, I've been invited in here. We're going to have about an hour here, have some fun, share with you some ideas on how your memory impacts everything that you're doing, specifically how a better one will help you to reduce some stress throughout the day, become more effective with your time, your follow-up, your follow-through, help you become more organized, more professional. For many of you, help you to make more money. How's that sound? All right. Now, if you haven't met me yet, or you have and you've already forgotten, my name is? Very good. Yeah. I own a company called Memory Dynamics. For the past 24 years, been helping professionals like yourselves to develop what we call an instant recall memory. So, having said all that, since we don't have a whole lot of time, I have an idea of what's important to you, but I want to kind of get your feedback a little bit. If there was one or two key areas that you personally would like to become better at as far as your own memory, and please don't say all of it, but what's important to you? Phone numbers for some, okay? What else? Names. How many think that names are important? Pretty much everybody here, okay? What are you thinking about? Like when you first meet somebody or like on an ongoing basis with that person, what are you thinking about? Everything. Why? Because I know this is probably one of the number one things that I hear about memory is names, but why? Why is it important that you remember somebody's name, but why is it important from their perspective that you actually remember their name? Show that they matter. Yep. You've all heard of Dale Carnegie before, yes? Yes. He wrote a book, How to Earn Friends and Influence People. In his book, he states that a person's name is that person, the sweetest and most important sound in any language. He says, when you remember my name, you pay me a subtle compliment. You indicate that I made an impression on you. Remember my name and you add to my feeling of importance. And it's so true. Now, even though we know this, how many times is it still happening where we meet somebody? And it doesn't have to be a month later, it doesn't have to be a week, it can be 10 seconds later. Literally, we get them shaking their hand, and what happens?
As soon as you let go of the hand, it's
gone. So a little embarrassing, yes?
yes.
Something, though, that I think that's even more embarrassing than that, and definitely more costly as far as business is concerned, is forgetting the name of somebody that we should know. And I'm not talking about your spouse or your significant other, okay? That's a whole different issue. But how many of you run into your clients? How many of you run into your customers, your prospects, people that you're trying to do business with outside of the normal environment that you're used to seeing them in? Were you at the grocery store? You're at a restaurant minding your own business? Right? And they come running up to you and it's like, Harrison? Harrison, is that? Man, I haven't seen you forever. What's up, man? Hey, how's it going? Hey, yeah. Good to see you, dude, yeah. And then how many of you are guilty of this? You ever try to creatively extract their name without letting them know that you have no clues to who they are? Okay, so you're talking about the 3-second rule, okay? If you're fortunate to be with somebody else, and you don't introduce the person you're with within about 3 to 5 seconds, they know that you don't know, right? So it becomes their job to what? Introduce themselves. Hopefully you can overhear the name Because it's a whole lot easier to apologize for being rude for not introducing the person you're with than to say, you know what, man, I'm sorry I forgot your name. Again. Right? Now it's a little bit harder. It's a little bit harder when we're by ourselves, isn't it? Right? I mean, I've heard of some crazy ways of trying to get people's names. Like, you know, what was that woman's name? You remember her. She, man, I know you know her too. She had the same first name as you. What was her name? What's your name, by the way? Kimberly? Okay, I don't recommend you use that one, okay? I'm just saying these are things that I've heard people try. One of my favorites is I was looking at the calendar the other day. I noticed that your birthday was coming up in the next 12 months, yeah. You know what, I wanted to send you a personalized card, but man, you have such a tricky name. How do you spell that again? Yeah, Rayjoebob. At that point, we're pretty much busted, yes? And we can laugh. We've all been in this situation before. But think about this for a second. When we can't remember one of the most important things about somebody, which is their name, what message are we sending to that person, whether it's directly or indirectly? Not important. Insincere. We didn't care. They weren't that memorable. Your business is more important than developing a relationship with you. Whatever it is, it's not the message we're trying to send. So if it's happened even just once, it's a good example of where a better memory will help out. Does that make sense? Now, let me ask you this, though. If we don't remember somebody's name, does that mean we don't care? No, of course not, okay? But unfortunately, their perception can be the reality, right? If that's what they think, then guess what? That's what they're thinking, right? But it's just such a small thing that has a huge impact on building that credibility and that relationship with that person. So some tips that I can give you, some basic tips that I can give you today as far as remembering names. You guys want some tips?
Yep.
Okay, let me back up for a second. I'm always wary about giving the basics, because I know you guys don't want the basics, right? Alex is like, no, man, I'll take the basics, okay? But I get this a lot. You know, can you give me the trick? Can you give me the secret? Can you give me that one thing that's going to help me recall people's names? And it's not that simple, but it's not difficult either. But I at least want to give you some things that you can start thinking about and start utilizing as soon as you walk out of here today. Fair enough? All right, so first tip that I can give you as far as remembering somebody's name actually has nothing to do with memory in the first place. So why am I here? All right. Before we get into the memory techniques, what's the first thing that we've got to do if we want to remember somebody's name? Yeah, not only hear it, we have to what? Repeat it back, but in order for us to repeat it back, we will have had to what? Heard it. We have to listen, but not just listen, we have to actively listen. We have to pay attention. But that sounds like a lot of work, doesn't it? See, we're all really good about asking people for their name. We truly are. We just forget to listen to the answer. We forget to listen to the answer. Why? What are we doing? What's happening? We are thinking 2, 3, 4 steps ahead of that situation that we're in. So when somebody comes walking through the door, we're not wondering, gosh, I wonder what this nice person's name is. Seriously, what are we thinking? What am I going to say? What do they want? How long is it going to take? What's in this for me? I'm sorry I forgot your name. Right? We're thinking all these different things. So we literally have to slow down and tell ourselves getting this person's name is the most important thing, because it is. Don't worry about getting your name out correctly. You'll do fine on that, trust me. All right? You know what I'm talking about, right? As soon as somebody introduces themselves, what have we already moved on to? We've already moved on to our own name. Don't worry about talking business. You'll get to it. Just spend a couple of seconds on their name. Now, again, easier said than done. We've got a lot of things going on in our minds, right? What happens when we come face to face with somebody? Let me just do a quick introduction. It'll be perfect. Sid, you want to help me out real quick? Give her a hand. She just volunteered. Come on up here. Come on up here. All right, I'm going to do a basic introduction. Nothing that will blow anybody's minds, all right? Trust me on this. But I just want you to watch this real quickly. Then we're going to talk about it. So, hi, I'm Sean.
Hi, I'm Cindy.
Cindy, very nice to meet you. Cindy, traditional spelling, like C-I, no? C, Y-N-D-Y. Oh, great. Nice. 2 Y's, no I. Okay, great. Nice to meet you, Cindy. All right, have a seat. Give her a hand. Give her a hand. All right, now, I didn't hear a lot of oohs and ahs out there. Okay, I didn't expect to. Except again from Alex. He's like, wow, that was amazing, dude, okay? But a lot of things just happened right there, and I want to discuss them. Because I think if you understand the psychology behind why we're forgetting in the first place, you'll see how everything is tied together and how we can make this process go a whole lot easier. So, no matter how big or how small, what did you just notice about that 10-second introduction? Anything at all?
2 eyes, no eyes.
Okay, so ask something about the name, right? Yeah. Ask something about the name. We'll talk about that. What else? Repetition. Okay, we'll talk about that. Anything else you notice?
She volunteered information when you were trying to spell. She's like, oh, here, let me get the
Yeah. Could have been what? How many of you ever come across somebody with C-Y-N-D-Y? This first one that I know.
Yes.
Okay?
That's true.
You have? Have you really? And what's your name? Barb? Okay. Anything else you notice? Eye contact, very important, and then the handshake. Okay, let's talk about these things. So the first thing, a handshake. How does a handshake even role in helping us remember or forget somebody's name? How does that even come into play? Physical connection. Yep. Promotes the eye contact, absolutely. Helps us to focus on that person, if just for a brief second. It's very hard to be doing something else. Now, you've all heard this before. You got to give a firm handshake, yes? This is nothing that's new. Here's the challenge, though. Who can tell me what a firm handshake is? What you get back? Mirroring, maybe? Okay, I've heard something like that before. What else? What's a firm handshake? Not limp.
But not bone crushing.
But not bone crushing. See, this is what I get from people. People can tell me more of what it's not than what it actually is, right? Which means it's very subjective. There's two ends of the spectrum. Over here, you got the bone crusher, right? It's where somebody feels they have to squeeze your hand as hard as possible.
Yep.
But then there's the other end of the spectrum. What am I talking about?
A dead fish.
Yeah, the limp noodle, the wet dish rag, it's the dead fish. It's literally where somebody will take their hand and be like, hi, I'm Sean. Okay. Now, I bring this up for an important reason, all right? If you do either one of these right now, please stop it, okay? Because when this is happening to us, we are no longer thinking about, nor do we even care about getting that person's name, right? Where's our immediate thought? Seriously. Ow. Ow. Or, ooh, that's disgusting. I want to get out of there as quickly as possible.
Some type of O, either
Yeah.
ow or ooh.
Yeah. So a firm handshake is one where you really don't even think about it. Great handshake, all right? Eye contact important. Why? Why is it important to look at somebody in the eyes?
The energy.
Energy?
Energy.
What else? Focus.
Yes.
What else? Not only make them think they're important, but hopefully they are important, right? How many times have you ever been in a situation, maybe even similar to this? You're meeting a lot of people all at once, right? And introduce yourself to me real quickly.
DA.
Do that again. What's your name?
DA.
Yeah, nice to meet you. What's your name?
Mark.
Yeah, cool. What's up, bud?
Rodney.
Yeah, cool. Now, what are these guys thinking right now? This red flag goes up on their shoulder going, you know what? There is something about this clown that I don't like. It's that eye contact or that lack of eye contact. Right? You can tell a lot by looking at somebody in the eyes, can't you?
Sure can.
All right? Why else do you want to look at them in the eyes? Well, this one's going to blow your minds. You ready for this one? It's to make sure we recognize them again next time we see them. Well, duh. Sean, I know that. Please move on to something a little more advanced. I know you do, but just humor me for a second, and I want you to think about our ADD brains for a second. How many of you know what I mean when I say ADD? Squirrel, right? Okay? When we're meeting people now, rarely is it ever in this one-on-one situation. Case in point, we're meeting a lot of people. We're exchanging business cards, right? So you meet somebody, they give you their business card. So now what are we looking at? What are we not looking at? Not looking at them, right? But as that's happening, guess what's happening in our pocket? Now our phone is going off, it's vibrating, or we're getting some texts, and then somebody's calling us. And then as we're doing that, then Mike's over here going, hey, come talk to me real quickly. I want to talk to you as soon as you're done talking to the person. What's happening? What's going on? Distractions, too much information, information overload. Now, one of the biggest challenges that we all have with eye contact, name tags. I see you wearing them tonight, which is fine. They help us in the short term, but they can hurt us in the long term. What do you think I mean by that? You walk into a room full of people with name tags on, what's your first thought, whether it's consciously or subconsciously?
Look at the name tag.
But not only that, but what? Yes!
What'd you say?
I don't have to what? I don't have to remember their name. And guess what? You don't. Let me put it a different way. How many of you are better at remembering phone numbers 10, 15, 20 years ago? Better than you are today. It's not because we're older today. It's not because we were younger back then. What's happened? What's changed?
We actually dialed phone numbers.
We used to get a phone number. Somebody gave us the phone number. We wrote it down. We looked at it. Heck, we even dialed it, right? I'm not sure how old everybody is, but... Okay? But it was that muscle memory that locked it in. Now we get a phone number. Where does it go? Goes right into our smartphone, telling our brains what?
Don't even worry about it. We got it.
Don't worry about it. I've got it right here as soon as you need it.
Yeah.
Until when? Until you need it.
Until you need it. Wow.
Yeah. I can't remember the name or you're in jail, right? See, we've got the most powerful computer up here. What's the problem?
We're not accessing.
We are not using it anymore. People can't find their way home without a GPS anymore. It's getting pretty scary, okay? But eye contact, important. Repetition, you've heard this before. Other than being a memory technique, and it's not even the best one, why else would you want to repeat somebody's name as you're meeting them? Make sure you understand it. Make sure you heard it correctly, right? Now, I don't have the greatest hearing, so I might meet somebody. I think I hear Greg, but it's actually Craig. I've heard, I thought it was Jenny, but it was actually Ginny. I thought Charla. Oh, no, it's actually Charlotte. So it gives them the opportunity right there and then to correct you when it's not embarrassing. I'm not embarrassed at that point. That's just a hearing thing. When does it become embarrassing? The next time, the next 5 times, the next 10 times. So now you keep calling them by the wrong name, right? So now they're not only embarrassed for themselves, but they're embarrassed for you. So guess what they're kind enough to let you continue doing? Over and over and over again. All right? Why else do we want to repeat their name? Well, it goes back to Carnegie's main principle. Everybody's favorite subject is what? Themselves, right? So the more time that we can spend on somebody else, specifically remember about them, not only their name, which is obviously important, how about their spouses or significant others' names? Is that important?
Yes.
How about their kids' names?
Yes.
How about their pets' names?
Yes.
Sometimes more important than their significant other's name, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The faster you can remember those things, the faster you can develop that relationship and that likability and that trust, right? And as Mike says, people like to do business with who?
People they know, like, and trust.
Absolutely. All right? Now, how many times was Cindy's name said between the both of us in our quick introduction? Does anybody know? So I've heard 4, I heard 5. Barb, what do you think? You said 4? 6? And what's your name? Cody. Cody? Okay. Cody says 6. We've got 6, 5, 4. Anybody want to go with the 3? Anybody want to go 3? 3? 3? Anybody with the 3? 6, 5, 4. You don't have to come up here again. We'll do a virtual one, okay? Hi, I'm Sean. There's one right there. Nice to meet you, Cindy. Now, is Cindy the traditional spelling? C-I, shaking her head, no. C-Y, N-D, Y. Okay, great. 2 Y's, no I's. Okay, great. Nice to meet you, Cindy. So about 4 times. Who said 4? Not Cody. It wasn't Cody. Now hear what I'm saying. Hear what I'm saying. 3 to 4 times in about 90 seconds is plenty. Any more than that, and you risk sounding like a salesperson. I was going to say stalker. Right, Meg? You know what I'm talking about, Meg? Okay, Meg. Thanks for being here, Meg. Nice to meet you, Meg. Where do you live, Meg? Okay. So now, the sweetest sound in the world just became what? Stop using my name. All right? And then ask them something about the name. Ask them preferences if it's important. Ask them spellings. Now, I probably wouldn't ask Bob. How do you spell that? But
You might do those Bob versus Robert.
that's true. Might ask if you go by Robert or something like that, right? Or just ask if he has one O in his name or something. I just wanted to see how awake you guys were right now. I know. Okay. To be fair, though, I did come across my first BOBB just a couple of years ago. Yeah, I'm like, first time, I'm like, why did your parents kind of mess you up like that? He's like, no, my parents didn't do that. I did that. I'm like, really? I used to go by Bobby, but I wanted to shorten it up, so I...
Took off the Y and gave it to Cindy.
Yeah. Right? You could have kept going, Bob, all right? But here's my whole point. If we spend more than 2 or 3 seconds on somebody's name, which is probably 2 or 3 times longer than most of us are doing, is that a bad thing? No. It shows them that we care, shows them we have their best interest at heart, and they actually like us better for it. Is this making sense? Is this helping? Again, I realize this is the basics, all right? This is actually level 1. Actually, this is level 0. All right, but this is the foundation. This is, you do these things. A firm handshake. Firm handshake, eye contact, repeat their name, ask them something about their name. As you're going into your meetings, just slow down, take a deep breath, clear your mind. Try to leave your electronics off you. I know that's a difficult one, all right? If you do these things, you'll remember that person's name in the short term. Hear what I'm saying? Short term being about 24, 48 hours, about 250 to 300% better than if you didn't do anything at all. Now, if you want to start getting into the, how do I know that she likes to be called Barb, but never call her Barbara, right? Or, how do I know what her kids' names are? How do I remember her not just a week from now, but a month from now, or a year from now? We can teach you to do this, just not in the time frame that we're allotted today. Make sense? Yeah. All right. Questions or comments up to this point, as far as names and introductions? Anything? Pat.
Why is it easier to remember somebody by their face than their name?
Why is it easier to remember somebody by their face than their name?
Yes.
Anybody have any ideas?
Because it's visual versus oral.
Not oral, but yes. Yep, I know what you're saying.
Like, yeah.
So here's the short answer, is we think in pictures. We think in pictures. And if you don't believe me, don't think of an elephant, right? I just thought of an elephant, okay? But did you think of the letters E-L-E-P-H-A-N-T? No, what happened? So we think in pictures. When you see somebody, okay, what does a mic look like? I know what one mic looks like. Do they all look like that? No. So what does a mic look like? So a name to our brain is just a sound. And we think in pictures. We think in pictures. I doubt anybody's ever come up to you and say, you know what, Rodney, do it. I'm sorry. I remembered your name, but I forgot your face. Okay? Doesn't happen, right? But now you know. Does that make sense? Other questions? Yes, your name, please.
How do you recover?
Yep.
Michaela.
Michaela, okay.
How do you recover from someone who gives you a left hand or a too firm? Well, the too firm you can remember, but the
Yeah.
hand one, how do you
Yeah, that one you just want to get away from, don't you? So how do you recover? Now, are you saying recovering as somebody giving it to you, you giving it to them? Okay. If somebody gives that to me, I always like to have a little bit of fun with it. I say, you know what? I'm sorry, I can do much better than that. Let's try that again. And squeeze a little harder. Give them an opportunity to squeeze your hand a little more. If not, then you can be just like, all right. Great. Yeah. Anything else?
Or you can use the other hand and just kind of.
Yeah, there you go. Give me your other hand. Oh, put it there. Yep. Nice to meet you. Very good. All right. What I thought we'd do next is have a little bit of fun. You want to have some fun?
Yeah, we've been having fun.
All right. I don't care if you do it or not. We're going to do it anyway. All right. I'm going to give all of you a chance right now to evaluate your own memory. We're going to play the memory game. And it's very simple. But before I do that, I want to talk about something real quickly. And that's the idea of, again, coming back to our memory. I don't care who you are, how old you are, what your experience level is, your gender, your IQ, your education level, does not matter to me. Every single one of you can develop an instant recall memory if you want one. How does that sound?
Yes.
Okay, here's why. I don't know if you've ever heard this before, but we never actually forget anything in the first place. How many have heard this? How many of you actually believe it? Okay? They've done a lot of studies on this, all right? Everything that we have done up to this point in our lives, barring any kind of physical injury or disease. Please hear what I'm saying. The information is up here. But what's the challenge, though, that most of us are experiencing?
Can't access it.
Accessing it. It's getting it back when we need it, right? Recalling it. See, most of you don't have a memory problem. You've got a recall problem. And if you don't believe me, go back to that situation where you're at a grocery store, you're at a restaurant, and you run into somebody that you know. When you see the person, more times than not, you at least recognize the face. Yes?
Yes.
That's not the problem. You might even remember things about the person.
Yeah.
Everything except what?
Their name.
But what typically happens 15 minutes later, an hour later, after the stress is gone, after they're gone?
You remember their name.
You've accessed.
Yep.
That was Mark. I remember Mark. But the time to make the impression on him was when?
When you saw him.
When he's in front of you, right? I mean, you can't pick up your cell phone an hour later, dial him up and say, hey, you were Mark. You can, but he probably knows us, all right? But the point is we didn't forget the name. It was just a matter of finding it amongst all the clutter that we have up here. How many right now honestly feel that your brains are maybe a little bit more cluttered or disorganized than you'd like it to be? How many of you could use a defrag of the hard drive? How many of you could use a brand new operating system? Okay? That's what we specialize in. I'm going to show you how to take any kind of information that you want to remember, show you how to put it in correctly the first time, so then you know how to get back to it the next time that you need it. Does that make sense? So it is not whether you have a good memory or a poor memory. It is just being trained or untrained. So I thought we'd do right now is have a little bit of fun and show you what you can do with the trained memory. We're going to play the memory game. Here's how it works. Does everybody have something to write with? Or if you don't have something to write with, grab a pen and paper if you do. If you don't have a pen and paper, grab your phone or your computer. And we're going to number 1 through 15. If you're on your phone, you can do it while we do it. 1 through 15. But what we're going to do, is come up with a random list of items. I don't care what goes on this list. It can be anything. All right, business related, non-business related, anything in this room if you want. Television, computer. We're gonna write them down together. So don't start writing them. But we'll write them down together, and then we'll see how well we can recall that list a little bit later on. Easy enough?
Okay.
All right? So, behind Pat here, what's your name? Oh, I know Rick. Yep, I'm sorry? Pat? Pat? Nora. Oh, that would have been really funny if it was, though, right? And you? Sophia? Sophia, Nora, Pat, Pat. All right, Pat number 2. What's number, come up with number 1. What's the first item? Cat. Okay, we're gonna write down cat for number 1. I see what Pat's doing already. She's like, there's gonna be a test. We're gonna keep this real simple, all right? 3 letters, 1 syllable. Now I will tell you, dog will not be the next one. All right, number 2. Just start yelling them out. Octagon. Octagon for number 2. Number 3? A cave. Cave.
Suitcase.
Suitcase for number 4. Suitcase for number 4.
Ferrari.
All right, Ferrari will be number 5. Ferrari for 5. 4 is suitcase. Okay, 6 will be cactus. 6 will be cactus. Spaghetti noodle. Number 7 is spaghetti noodle. Just to let you know, I'm not actually with Memory Dynamics. Mike invited me in here to do psychological profiles on the audience makeup of the groups, and
We failed.
well, I gotta say, we're gonna have some interesting conversations. Wednesday will be number 8. Wednesday will be number 8. And then we're gonna stop for a second. Do we all have 8 items right now? Okay, take the next couple of seconds, review the list that you already have to yourself. Time's up. That's it. All right. Number 9.
Verisimilitude.
Spell.
Verisimilitude.
What is it?
Verisimilitude. Everybody can thank Tom Chase for the $1 million word today. Verisimilitude. It's a memory test. It's not a spelling test. Or you just want to keep going with the orangutan. Okay, we're going to do orangutan for number 10. And what's your name? Jason? It can be anything you want. So, huh? Oh, can it be simple? Literally simple. Yes, number 11 is simple. Investor will be number 12. Investor for 12. House? No, investor, house. I see where you're going with this. Real estate will be the next one after that. Then let's do some interest rates in there too. What's that? The color purple. All right, we'll do the color purple for number 13. 14?
14.
Yeah, nice. I'm sorry, your name again was what?
Your job.
Caleb? Cody, yeah. Cody, I've got something very special for you in a little bit. You're going to be excited about this, all right? Hey, who's next to Cody? Your name? Brandon. All right. Hold on, it's going to be fun. So what are we doing for 14? No.
Baby.
Baby. We'll do baby. Baby for 14 and 15.
Chair.
I heard chair. We'll do chair for 15. Hold on here. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm into extra credit. So we're going to come up with a bonus item. Pumpernickel. No. Yeah. I heard somebody say phone. You want to do phone?
Phone.
Phone. Okay. Now we got to keep going. So phone for number 16. Pumpkin. Pumpkin is going to be 17. I can keep going if you like. Is that enough? Good? All right, here's what I need you to do. Everybody look up here, please. Put your pens down and your phones down. You don't need them right now. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you about 20 seconds to review your list, all right? Now, hold on. Not only do I want you to remember the correct items, but also the order that they're in. All right, so there's no pressure. 20 seconds, then we'll call on one or two of you and see how well you do. How fun does that sound, Cody? Ready? 20. All right, go. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. Is that annoying? Okay, sorry about that. 15, 14. 10 seconds. And time is up. Go ahead and flip them over, please. Go ahead and flip them over or turn off your phone or something. Just don't cheat is what I'm saying. Now, how many of you are still waiting for that flood I was talking about? All right. I usually like to call on one or two people. Usually it's the ones who look like they don't want to be called on. Which doesn't narrow it down a whole lot. What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? What's your name?
Well, here's the real test. I actually met you about 12 years ago. So the question is, what's my name? She's not recall.
Dude, what's your name?
It's Greg.
Greg? All right, Greg.
With the G.
Oh, man. All right, what's your name? Jake? Feel pretty good about the list, Jake? You look confident. Do you? Give Jake a hand. He just volunteered, all right? I'm going to make it real. Come on up here, Jake. Come on up here. No, yeah.
You did.
Well, you can speak really loud. I'll make it really easy on you. Do as many as you can in order. But go ahead and start backwards for us, okay? Backwards.
I forgot the first one. Wait.
It's backwards, so you last one.
Yeah. And no helping.
Pumpkin.
Dude.
Fine.
What?
Going out on top of it.
Yeah. I'm just messing with you. You don't have to go backwards. I'm going to try it forwards, or did I screw you up by making you go backwards?
Cat, octagon. Too much pressure.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Give him a hand. Give him a hand. All right. Yeah. I do this. I am not going to call on all of you, so don't think that you have to avoid eye contact with me, okay? But I do this for two reasons. One is stress. Does stress play a part in our memory?
Yes.
Huge. It is one of the biggest memory killers on the planet. Of everybody I could have called on, I chose Jake. A little stressful for Jake? Why? Well, all the eyes are on him now, right? But I didn't stop there. He could have stayed in his chair. I brought him up front. Now what's happening? All the eyes are on him. It's a lot easier to solve that Wheel of Fortune puzzle when you're at home, isn't it? Okay? But I didn't stop there. I said I want you to remember it how?
Backwards.
What's happening to his brain right now? But you recovered masterfully. So really nice job. Seriously, give him a hand. Give him a hand. All right. Second reason I do this, how many items do you think the average person will typically remember in their correct order? Out of 15, 16, 17 items, what do you think the average is? 3 or 4? We found between 5 and 7. Between 5 and 7, which is what?
6.
Yeah. I'm kidding. It's closer to like 4 or 5, but I just wanted to help you out, man. Okay. Yeah. About 4 or 5, maybe 6. And which ones do you think most people have an easier time recalling? Which numbers? First ones and why? You're exactly right, but why? Yeah, first one that we heard, right? Oh, we're going to have some fun. That sounds great. You wrote it down. You typed it in. You looked at it the longest. You reviewed it. Things at the very end we have an easier time recalling. Why? Last thing that went in. Thank goodness it's over. So the problem that most of us have is where? In the middle. That is life, isn't it? Yeah. Well, typically remember, yeah. You remember the beginning, the end is that middle part, and that's life. You remember waking up in the morning. You remember going home at night. Some of you. It's a gray area in between. So I'll challenge all of you when we're done here today, quiz each other on this list, knowing that 3 or 4 or 5 is pretty good, all right? Why don't I do this? I'll give you a list to try. Go ahead and flip them over so I can't see them. Or turn on your phone, look at it. Now, just to let you know, it is customary, it's customary to give the memory guy a little margin of error on this. Can we agree on this? Yes. You guys are rough. It's your job, dude. You should know it. Well, here's why, okay? I didn't get a chance to write this down. A good memory tip for you. If you don't write something down, you will stand at best about a 1 in 7 chance. It's less than 15% that you'll get that information back when you need it. Now, hear what I'm saying. We talked about this earlier. It's up there, right? You'll get it back. It just may be a couple hours later when you're driving down the 101 or you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Has that ever happened to you? All right. Now, Jake, I made you go backwards. Which way are you going to let me go here? Go backwards. All right. Let's give this a try. All right. So we start off with pumpkin. I think phone was in there. Then we had chair. 14 would be baby. Then I think we had the color purple. Investor would be in there. Then we had simple. Orangutan. Then verisimilitude. Thanks, Tom. How am I doing so far? All right. Wednesday is number 8. Then I think we had spaghetti noodles. Cactus would be in there for number 6. Ferrari. Then we had suitcase. Cave would be in there. Octagon. And 1 is cat. All right. Okay. Now, I do that not to try to impress you, okay?
Well, you could impress us if you know the names.
Alex is still not impressed. All right. Thanks, Alex. All right. Now, I do that, okay, maybe a little bit, but seriously, don't be impressed with this. You can do this with a whole lot more and a lot more important things, all right? Let me back up for a second. This list means nothing. Can we agree on that right now? Yeah. So when you walk out of here tonight, if you don't remember anything on this list, guess what?
No big deal.
It's okay. You'll be fine. Trust me. Yes? I don't know. No. Yeah. Verisimilitude. Orangutan. Simple. Okay. What's your name? Heather. Okay. Yeah, I could probably do that too. So, but again, who cares about the list, right? Why I've been invited in here today is when you can take the skill behind this list and apply it to your day-to-day activities. Apply it to your personal life. Seriously, if you had an instant recall memory, you could recall anything you wanted quickly, accurately, without writing it down all the time. How would this help you become better in your personal life? How would it help you become better as an investor? How would it help you become better in your business? What would you use this for? Home and business? Harrison, you're saying everything? Brandon, how about you? What would you use it for? Good or evil? Girlfriend's birthday. Actually remembering what she said she wanted, or remembering that she actually had a birthday? Okay. What else? Instant recall. Jake, how about you? What would you use it for?
People already said it, but names for sure.
Yeah.
I was just, when you were talking when we were out here, there's a name thing out here for some of the vendors. That would be my number one.
Okay.
Addresses.
Addresses, properties, right? Remembering to do things. This could have been 16, 17 things you need to get done by the end of tomorrow to make sure you had a successful day. If you can do this with things that you care nothing about, how much easier it will be to remember the things that you do, right? Now, a lot of people are like, okay, that's really neat, Sean. How did you do this? Some people think I use what's called association. Does everybody know what association is? There's a couple different types. One is basic association. The other is coming up with some sort of a nonsensical story and trying to tie everything together. Did any of you try to do that with this list? Yeah? Crazy? Okay. You don't have to tell me your whole story, Cody, but what was your story shaping up to be? And speak up loud.
Well, there was a cat and it started out in a cave. No. And an octagon. Well, oh yeah, that was
It's his story, Brandon. Let him tell it.
I was right next to him. I think he had a suitcase. It was a Ferrari involved. He was driving the Ferrari. It's not cactus.
Yep. Okay.
He ate some spaghetti noodles. And then we got to number 9 at some point.
And you're like, what the heck is on to? You screwed it up. Well done. Well done. All right.
I'm old enough to know that Wednesday we bring spaghetti day.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. That's right. So I'll teach you what association is, but you're going to run into some problems if that's all that you use. And you already know what they are. The first one's with names. All of you said that names are important, yes? All right. Let's say you meet a woman. I'll make this easy on you. Her name is Rose. R-O-S-E. Simple enough, right? What type of picture pops in your head? Beautiful flower. Works fine for that day. But the problem is what? We don't see her every single day, right? We see her at the next monthly meeting in November. What mysteriously happens to her name next time we see her? Well, it withers. Worse than it withering, though, is you remember the association. So you're thinking, oh, beautiful flower, beautiful flower. Oh, Daisy, hey, great to see you again. Lily? Iris? Again, that's more embarrassing than forgetting the name altogether, right? I did a class when I first got into memory training here. I did a class, and the guy comes up to me at the end of the class. He's like, Sean, thank you for covering this with our group today. People are always getting my name wrong, including the people I work with. And it's because of association. Now, I hadn't met this guy yet, so I'm thinking, all right, must have some sort of a complicated name. I said, what's your name? He said, my first name's Ken. I'm like, Ken, that's not too difficult. He's like, I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is with my last name, which is Estrada. E-S-T-R-A-D-A. I'm like, oh, you know what, dude? That's just like that guy. He said, don't finish that sentence. Now, for anybody who's 40 and over, you know what he's getting called right now.
Yeah, Eric.
He's getting called Eric. If you're under 40, you're going, huh? Trust me, that's funny. That's comedy gold right there. All right? He says I get called Eric. He says I get called Ponch. They call me Chip. Nobody can remember Ken. So that's the first problem. Second problem with association. It doesn't allow for instant recall. As professionals, when do we need access to our information? We need it right away. We need it now. We need it when we need it, when they're in front of us, if not sooner. Okay? Now, this was just 17 things. Again, they don't mean anything. But what if this was 50 things? What if this was 100 things? What's going to happen with your memory, with association, if you use that large amount of data? Confusing? Nothing? Overload? Well, one, you just doubled your list, right? If you're using association, you have to remember the association. So instead of remembering 100 things, you have to remember what? 200. What's the problem with a story? Yeah. So now Mike comes running up to you and says, listen, Cody, dude, I need this information right now. You're like, all right, I think that's around 73 or 74 of my story. Hold on for a sec. There was a cat in a cave. Oh, wait, no, it's the octagon. Okay, in the octagon. Well, half hour later, it's like, I got it, right? But let me show you what I mean by instant recall. Grab your sheet right away real quickly, or your phone, whatever you're playing on. And I want you to either yell off a number or yell off the item. I'll try to give you the corresponding item or number. See if this works. 14's baby, I believe. 11 is simple. 6 would be cactus. 12 is investor. What was that? Spaghetti noodles is 7. Phone is 16. Okay. Faster than writing it down, faster than looking at it on your piece of paper or on your phone, that is the power of your memory. Instant recall. I don't have a photographic memory. I was not born this way. These are some techniques that I developed over the past several years that I found I can train anybody to do this. And when you do this, not only behind the scenes, seriously, how much time do you think you'd be able to save? But you do this in front of your clients, in front of the people you work with. Anybody think this might make a little bit of an impression? What's your name? Wayne. Wayne? How would this help you?
Maybe with speeches.
Presentations without notes. Being able to speak without, well, kind of like what I'm doing, right? Did you see some notes? I don't think so, Wayne. I don't think so, buddy. All right. Who here sees the value of being able to do what I'm talking about? By a show of hands. All right. Let me kind of wrap up here and take any kind of question. Any questions up to this point? Anything at all? Anything that we've been discussing? Yes, Rick? Not so much. No. I don't know if you're joking or not. You're laughing, but okay. No, yeah. When it gets to that point, it's beyond what we teach. Yep. Yep.
How do we get the course?
All right. If you're interested in the class, so let me tell you how it's going to work. So all I'm doing is sharing with you some highlights, some excerpts from our workshop that we're going to be doing, Saturday, October 21st, 9 to 5, I think is what we have. I typically do these classes in about 5.5, maybe 6 hours. We're going to go a full 8 hours. We'll have lunch in there too. But how it works, why we're going to spend a little bit more time, is Mike wants you guys to be able to practice and walk out of there knowing that you can do this, all right? I'll actually guarantee you what you're going to learn before you even go, so you can determine whether or not you'd like to come. Is that fair enough? I'll guarantee you 3 things. You may want to write these down real quickly. First guarantee is that I'll increase your recall by a minimum of 300%. That is not just a number that I picked out of the air. Okay, I'll evaluate you at the beginning of class, at the end of the class. You'll be able to see your own results. Most of our students, about 300 to 500%. But even if you're just, Cody, just 3 times better recalling stuff, is that going to help out, do you think? Most people say it's worth it because of that. Second thing we guarantee, was anyone even mildly impressed with the 17 things in and out of order? Yes. Pat? Okay, a little bit. If you can do that with things that are important, let's say 20 things, would you be impressed? Yes. 30, 40? DA, how many would you be impressed with?
100.
100? Forget you. And what's your name? Jeremy. How many would you be impressed with? You'll take 10. We can help you out with 10, okay? I'll help you out with 100 too. We'll guarantee you'll be able to do 50 to 100 items. Forwards, backwards, in and out of order. You'll never have to write down another to-do list, grocery list, follow-up list, any kind of list again if you don't want. Last thing is names. We guarantee you'll be able to walk into a room 5, 10, 15 people, 20 people you've never met before. And in about 15 minutes, know everybody's name for as long as you like. Can anybody see the value of that?
Yes.
We're always networking, right? We go around and meet 10 or 15 people. How many names do we actually remember? Hopefully a little more than that, but it's probably fair to say less than we like, yes? And then we feel bad if we can't remember their name, so we'll make up a name for them. Everybody know what I'm talking about? Like dude? Big man? Buddy? Chief? Boss? Stud? What are you laughing at, big shooter? Huh? What are some of the women here? What are some of the women here? Babe? Hey, babe. Honey? Sweetie? Darling? I heard this the other day. There she is. There she is. Take that exact same situation. Imagine the confidence you'd have and the respect that you'd have to be able to go around a group of people and not only thank them for their time, but actually thank them by their name. Would anybody think that'd be pretty valuable? Everybody stand up here real quickly. I don't know if I got a chance to meet most of you or not, but stand up if you're here. As I call off your name, please go ahead and have a seat. Wayne, you can sit down. You look like that was going to be a tough one. Okay. Tom, thanks for coming in here today. Really appreciate that. Rodney, have a seat. Cindy, thanks for your time. 2 Y's, 1 I. Thanks. Meg?
No eyes.
2 Y's, no I? Yeah. Okay.
I thought you said one.
All right.
Sorry.
Francisco, have a seat. Thanks for being here. Steve, nice to meet you. Carolyn, thanks for your time. Elise is just not going to stand up for me. That's all right. I think that's the kind of the whole point. All right, Lawyer, thanks for your time. Great to see you, man. Ray, thanks so much for your time. Brandon, have a seat. Harrison, thanks for your time. Jake, thanks for your time. Awesome job one more time. Give Jake a hand. Heather, have a seat. Jason, thanks for your time. Greg, good to see you. Sophia, thanks for your time. Rick, you can have a seat as well. Nora, Molly, thanks for your time. Pat, number 2, have a seat. Ernie Wong, thanks for your time. Jeremy, have a seat. Kimberly, I believe, have a seat. DA, have a seat. Daryl, I believe. Alex, thanks for your time. Art, have a seat. Roger, Pat, and Mark, thanks for your time. Dude, Mike, thanks for inviting me in here. I've had a lot of fun. This is great. I think I nailed it. Like 80%. Cody, have a seat. And let's thank Tony, our audio man back here. Tony, thanks so much. All right. How many of you think that would be a pretty valuable skill to have?
Yes.
Again, who cares that I can do this? This is what I'm going to teach you to do on Saturday, October 21st. You'll walk out of there going, oh my, I can't believe I could do this. All right? But again, so and just to let you know, we nationally sell our tickets for $4.95 a person. Mike has allowed you guys to come, part of your members, your Azria membership. You're at $248, I think. And for those of you who reserve a seat tonight, here's another thing. Anybody have a spouse or a significant other who you feel could benefit from said training as much as yourself, if not maybe a little more, and we'll admit it? All right. For those of you who reserve your seats before you take off here today, again, not only are you saving 50%, so it's $248, but we're going to allow you to bring a family member with you to the class at a discounted rate of free. Definitely. Free, all right? Anybody think that's pretty good? Yeah? So definitely bring somebody with you. It's going to be very fun, very entertaining. You will learn more and ultimately earn more than you ever thought possible. But it's going to be a really fun time. Did you have some fun today?
Yes.
Give it up for Mike for inviting me in today. I will be your instructor on Saturday, so if you didn't like tonight, then trust me, you're not going to like Saturday. But if you had some fun, it will be a good time. So I'm kind of curious, I'm sure Mike is too. Who here sees the value of the class? Who would like to attend by a show of hands? That's almost all of you. All right. Very simply, Mike, what's the process for them to get signed up? Or do they know what to do? Or okay, so on the way out the door, Michaela can help you out. Thanks, Kimberly. Or you can scan the QR code, pay for it online. Don't have to worry about credit cards being exchanged. Or Molly can take pictures of your credit cards and email them to me, and I'll remember them for the rest of your life. Okay? Good. We can teach you how to remember playing cards. It's not cheating, it's just remembering whether or not you saw it or not, right? That's what our attorneys say anyway. Okay? Questions? Comments? Concerns? Anecdotes? Molly, did I cover everything? Yes? Mike, anything? Thank you for your, yes, Jason. Okay, so people that can't make it on the 21st, we doing anything for them or what?
Well, we can record it or stream it. Would you want a recording, or are you saying would you want to see it in person?
All right. I would say this. Here's what I'll say. If you know your schedule, you're like, oh man, I really want to go, but I can't make the 21st. Sign up right now, $248. We'll get you the training somehow, whether it's a recording or whether I get you to another class. Because I'm in here locally. I'm sure Mike wouldn't mind sending some people over this way, but we really would want to get everybody there on Saturday if we can. Does that make sense? But for those of you who can't, if you don't show up, we will make sure that you get the training.
I want to take the training at that conference that day. But would I be able to still bring my wife
Yes.
if I pay for it?
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, just guys, again, rather than spending $1,000 for you and a spouse or significant other or anybody, it's 130, less than 125, 130 bucks per person. I don't know, but it'll be worth it.
I got something on that day, but I can't remember what.
Wow. You guys are tough. I had some fun today. Thanks for getting me to laugh as well. But I'll stick around for any additional questions. Come see me. But talk to Mike, talk to Molly, Michaela, anybody. Scan the code, sign up, and I will look forward to seeing you. If not at that class, I will see you at another one. We'll get the training to you. Okay? Fair? Fair. All right. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thanks, guys.
Wow, wasn't that incredible? Like I said, imagine the power and the respect and the command when you remember everyone's name in the room. Well, Sean O'Neill can show you exactly how to do that. See, you know that part when he went over the 18 items and he started from the bottom and went up? That was impressive, right? Well, in Tucson, our members threw him a curveball and he had to go from the bottom, starting with the evens, then top down with the odds. Very impressive. He got it. So on Saturday, myself included, October 21st, right here at the Azria office in Central Phoenix, we'll all be learning exactly how to do it. Sean's going to show us his system in a full day training. So I want you to think about this. Imagine being the person who never forgets, always connects with someone, and stands out in every interaction. So go to Ezria.org/calendar, secure your spot, and I'll see you on Saturday.